Okay.
All right. Tell us what you think about how your lesson went today.
So I think it went pretty good. Thinking about the standard one. So making these rooms using a vanishing point, they're using a ruler, so they're having to make right angles. They're having to think about how things are getting farther away from them in the room because it's supposed to look 3D. So I think that was covered pretty well in that, and then just the idea of the lesson in general. It is about their personal interests, what they want, what they strive for, what their goals might be for later in life. So that's what they're putting in this room. And then, having to use some math to figure out how it's going to look right in the room that is a 3D room. So I think that really went really well. I helped certain students who needed a little extra help, like Reagan. She wasn't quite understanding how to make a poster sit on the wall so that it looked like it was actually on the wall. So I helped her out with that a little bit, with the floor, and if they're wanting lines in their floor or tile, how to make it look like it's getting further away from you. My only negative today was just not getting their attention fully when I needed it all. When I was working with them individually, that was fine, but like when I was trying to get their attention to ask them questions, getting them to raise their hand, not talk while I'm talking. So that is what I think I mainly need to work on for next time. Yeah.
I agree with that completely, because they were talking over you.
Yeah.
And they have to be reminded constantly to allow everybody to have a chance to speak, so that everybody can be heard.
Right.
And if they're not going to do that, then you'll have to come up with a way to take that person away from the demonstration, so it doesn't distract the other children. And you can do it in a positive way.
Right.
It doesn't always have to be in a negative way. And those are little techniques you'll learn as you go through the lesson.
Okay.
As far as the standard goes, I think you definitely went through to make sure that they used the knowledge they already had on how to draw a room in perspective,
Right.
using a vanishing point. And then you went around and you corrected students.
Yeah, because a lot of them
Who
would
were having
forget
trouble.
about using it. And as soon as you line it up, it works. So
Exactly.
I think once they see that, they'd have to keep being reminded. But
Yes,
yeah.
they do. So you were good at, as far as going to every student and checking to make sure that they had everything lined up to the VP, and then to ask them questions
Yeah.
about what they were going to put in the room. What is your interest? And how are you going to incorporate that and exhibit that in your work? And you would keep inquiring to get them to think. And they're going to base that off of information from their former knowledge.
Right.
And then some of these children are very involved in extracurricular activities and have a lot. But then there's some children in the class who don't have any extracurricular activities. It's school and home, and that's it.
Yeah, so you really have to
So-
push the interests for them,
Yes.
use their imagination.
And maybe think, dream a little,
Yeah.
and just see, if you could have anything you wanted in that room, if there's anything you would want to do extra in your life, what would that be? And incorporate it into the room. So that worked well. I didn't see any problem with any of that. I think you definitely met the standard one,
Yeah.
from my understanding of it.
Okay.
But to improve the lessons, like you said, you definitely need to get, it's called crowd control.
Yeah.
And circling around the table is a good way to have everybody close to you, which is what you did today, because then you can really point at, immediately who's going to give you a problem. And then you address that immediately. And then, of course, making them stand back so everybody can see,
Right.
shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
And then raising your hand if you want to speak, and if you cannot raise your hand, then you do not get to share. Or if they just continue, then pull them out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I need to enforce if you don't raise your hand, then you don't get to hear.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what I wanted to add was, when you were helping a child, I did notice that you would be looking at the child and their work but you didn't turn around to see what was going on behind you.
Okay.
And you eventually will start to like hear everything around you. You will hear your name, you will hear conversations.
Okay.
Just like you have peripheral vision, that's going to get better
Okay.
because you'll start to see things out of the corner of your eyes, and you need to have that.
Okay.
Because children will do things behind your back thinking you never know, and you'll catch things that you never caught before.
Okay.
Because we have one child in that class who likes to do that.
Okay.
He likes to do things he thinks you can't see,
I see.
and then you'll turn around and you'll catch him in the end of it,
Okay.
where he thinks he's stopping. And so you got to let him know, no, I've got really good peripheral vision right here. And I can see what's going on over here, I can see what's going on over there, and I can look straight at you and see all that at one time.
Okay.
And then it makes them a little bit more cautious about what they're doing.
Okay, good.
So, but always turn around and just see what's going on behind you, because somebody's going to have a question. And another thing, talking will start to happen. When they see you're not paying attention, they will start to have a conversation
Yeah, that definitely
about something
happens.
inside that room.
Yeah. So I need to be, like, I can hear them and they're not being loud, but I need to listen to what they're actually saying so I can say, okay, you're not talking about your room. You need to focus. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And those senses will become more alive as you
Okay.
go. Because
Okay.
you got to catch everything going on in a room, especially in an art room.
Yeah.
Because we have all kinds of materials in here that they have access to. So we have to be aware of what they can,
Yeah.
put their hands on quickly.
Okay.
And so that's a real important thing.
Yes.
Other than that, you did good today.
Okay.
For first time,
Good.
so